How's it going, folks? It's Random, and today's video is a little bit more on the informational side than me just hanging around and doing dumb stuff. So anyways, I recorded this video once already, but then I realized I recorded the audio but not the video of it, so this is just a re-recording of what happened. So, I'm playing in this SMP with a bunch of my friends, and I was looking up an iron farm design, and my philosophy for this season of the SMP was I want to be as lazy as possible while making as much turnover as possible, in that I will do the tedious stuff but just once, which is basically like I want to make a villager farm, villager trading hall. I will make some other farm, like I have a drowned farm here, but again it's like, how can I make this as lazy as possible, as little effort, while still having the same rewards? So I got to looking on YouTube for iron farm designs, and this one guy, Aristotle Gaming, he had probably the most interesting video out of everyone. He also has, the calmest YouTube video out of everyone too, so that's a plus. I like videos where the YouTubers are not screaming down my ears every 5 seconds. Anywho, if you want to know how to build the farm, you should watch his video for it. If you want to know how the principle of the farm works, watch his video on it. This video is not to tell you how to build the farm or teach you how to build it from scratch. I don't care enough for that. What I will do is I will point out some flaws that I found in his farm, in the sense that it's less of a flaw and more of a nitpick, but the nitpick is also something that people in general could face, right? And I watched it in some of his comments too, is that some people were asking, okay, how does this work, why does this not work, and all that stuff. So first things first, what he has suggested is that you make this kill chamber platform with the outer layer of the whole thing being glass, the inner layer being any spawnable block. Now, this works because this basically forces the iron golem to spawn right in the middle of this, which basically means the iron golem will basically just be pushed into the center of the farm and then get killed in the lava and whatnot. Now, the issue with that is that an outer layer of glass might not actually look good for your farm. And also, if you're lazy like me, you might just have a floor here that you just don't want to modify. Even though there's sand here, I didn't really want to spend time smelting all the sand, making them into glass, and then planting them down individually. Especially not when I didn't have a efficiency 3 shovel at the time. So I did this whole floor with sand. I didn't change anything. I did what he started off with, which is 2 blocks and a slab, and that proved a few interesting issues. First things first, the iron golem would spawn in like right here somewhere, but because of how wide his hitbox is, he would clip through the blocks on these things. And what would happen is that it was a very small chance of it happening in the first place, but if it did happen, the entire farm breaks, because at some point he stays clipped here and he just kind of gets pushed out. And then he just kind of like walks around the whole farm telling the villagers that, hey, look, I'm here, and the villagers don't spawn in any more iron golems. Which is bad, because then you don't get any iron, and you gotta kill these bastards one by one. So, initially, my idea was wall blocks with either slabs on the top or nothing on the top. It's fine. Even one wall works. You can have 2 walls. That's perfectly fine. Which, what it does is that it basically makes it so that the iron golem's hitbox is more on the inside than it is on the outside, and that will ensure that the iron golem never gets pushed out of the farm. Now, that in itself solved the Iron Golem spawning issue, but then I had a new issue where we had items that would, what the hell? Where's the main module? We would have items that would drop after the death of the Iron Golem at the side, like this, and they would just stay there and get clumped up. And that is obviously, you know, loss of productivity, loss of items. You don't want that for your farm. To solve that, it's also a very simple concept. You just take the iron from the golems that have died, and you craft these jail bars. Okay, I fucked that up. Okay, no, it's not the jail bars. It's basically you put the regular water stream here, and then you put one water stream here and then one here in the corners, and that will basically force the Iron Golem to be pushed into the center like you see here, and that will effectively ensure that the drops are also centered, or at least, you know, a couple blocks here and there, but not over here. And now you have the issue of like water overflow, and there's also another issue where the item may just go there and then just get flung off to this point. It's a very rare chance that it happens, but it does happen, and even in Aristotle's own video you will see that there's like items like floating above the ground, just kind of sitting there. What the hell? Floating above the ground, just kind of sitting there, doing nothing but just, you know, take up space. And again, it's fine, it's minuscule to lose a little bit of items, but if you're in a server that clumps up a bunch of items together in the whole 90,000 X iron type deal to solve lag, that might be an issue. So you do this iron bar thing where the item just never goes past the first like 4 pixels, and the item still gets dropped, as you guys have been seeing this whole video. The item still gets dropped, it still goes into the hoppers or wherever you want to make it go, into a collection chamber and whatnot, and it's fine. But again, iron bars will solve quite literally 90% of the issues with the collection system. That's the main quote-unquote problems. You could also like just have one extra block. You could just like build this middle section with one higher, and that's also fine. But I just like everything being level. I just like everything being flush, so I'm lazy. I don't care. That's pretty much most of the issues that I saw with Aristotle's farm solved, where basically if you use these improvements, you can basically go back and forth between the two videos, and you can make your own decision as to like what works better for you, how your farm's aesthetic will work compared to this one. But if you want to make Aristotle's biblically accurate farm, you're gonna have to follow that farm block by block, otherwise it doesn't work. But with this one, with these little workarounds, you can just make your farm out of any block you want, as long as you have slabs, as long as like, you know, you do the whole spawn proofing thing. And again, watch this video for the details on that. There's like very specific measurements on how many blocks should be spawn proofed, behind the farm, ahead of the farm, beside the farm, and above the farm. There's all this stuff. And just, yeah. Another thing that I would like to add though is that, again, very minuscule chance we are looking for 100% efficiency that we can achieve. And in a very small particular instance, the villagers, when they go to sleep at night, and the other two villagers might not go to sleep at night immediately, they might push the sleeping villager halfway up this bed before the villager wakes up. And if he does wake up like that, like basically positioned halfway or more than halfway above the bed, he will spawn here inside of this wall, and then he'll get pushed back into the bed, obviously because he wants to stay with his fellow villagers and he wants to stay within the vicinity of the bed. But what will happen is that if you have a solid block on the second or third block, right where their head is, they will suffocate. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they die from said suffocation. It has already happened in my iron farm once. Like, I lost 2 modules at some point from that. Luckily I have a villager breeder that works really, really well, and I had a bunch of villagers as like backup. So I'm good. That was an easy fix for me. But just if you just replace the 2 blocks with glass, it should be fine. And it also, like, you can watch these guys just panic as they see their buddy Golem get transported into a pile of lava and die. It just add a little bit more torment to the eternal torment that you're gonna be subjecting them to anyway. And that just works. But yeah, I mean, that's the video, I guess. That's all the improvements that I wanted to have. And again, if you want to build up, I think you gotta build up like 20 blocks. I built up 25 because why the hell not? This is still under construction. I got sidetracked with a bunch of projects. I'll probably finish it, probably not. Who the hell knows? Yeah. I guess that's the video. I hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoyed this, and again, watch Aristotle's video for the details of how to build the farm, how the farm works and everything. And he also has a bunch of tips on how to like spawn proof everything in decorative, with decorative blocks and whatnot. He has all these amazing ideas for it. But yeah, for the most part, it's the same thing. Just get a zombie in. Good thing with husks is that if you build this in a desert, you're gonna get husks. Husks don't burn in daylight. Just a little bit of a tidbit for you. And given that husks don't burn in daylight, you can really play around with this idea on an SMP, where, you know, people want to sleep. You can let them sleep. As long as a husk spawns, you can just get a name tag and name tag them, and it's fine. But having said that, see ya.